How do you train your managers to deal with all those baristas who are best friends that all want to have the same, 3 days off? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah. I mean, my goal is that they actually work at separate stands. I try to
Hmm.
separate up. You work for the company and it's great. And so that would be my number one goal. But a lot of times they're like, actually, I really want to work with so and so. And if it's a really big deal, I'm not going to miss out on the person. So I would, take them on. But my number one, try to get them to spread out.
Welcome to the Coffee Experts Club, where we discuss all of the insights, expertise, and drama that goes into making your passion your profession. Our hosts, Aaron, Ben, and Drew, are three coffee experts who have taken their coffee experience and turned it into true expertise. They have consulted with major coffee brands throughout the United States and beyond, providing operations expertise and growth strategy for drive-through openings, multiple locations, and everything in between. So brew yourself a cup and hang out a bit with the Coffee Experts Club.
Well, welcome everybody to Coffee Experts Club. We have the one, the only Tasha with us today. Tasha's a regional manager down in Human Being in Reno. That's why we were talking about Reno for anybody. It's that. And so what we're actually doing is we want to kick off a series of bringing in, people who are in the coffee industry right now. Just during these live Q&As so that those who are looking to get into the coffee industry or, trying to start their own shops, their own businesses, so they can sort of also hear from people who are in the thick of it right now, what you're dealing with on the day to day, what's new big issues you're facing, whether it's, inflation or hiring or, firing or all that sort of stuff. And just kind of gives people some real world kind of advice from those who are actually living the coffee industry right now. So I guess, Tasha, to kick it off, how is it down in Reno these days with Human Being? Are you guys pretty crazy down there? It's summertime, right? So I'm sure you guys are kind of busy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that we're definitely picking up and things are good. The weather is finally getting nice. I feel like every time the weather gets nice is when it really starts to pick up. But with that comes, baristas are out of school, they're on vacation. And yeah, the customers are here and our team is gone.
I remember that every summer. And I'm sure during festival season, you're like, oh, great, that nobody's working. How good everybody's at like bumper shooter. What was the one that was at the Gorge? That Paradiso?
Jeez, I went from being one of the ones that was gone to being, where are all my baristas?
That one poor manager, that was always the worst. That the new manager like didn't realize that no, you can't just give all 12 baristas the same week off. Oh, festival season.
And
So
everybody becomes friends within the stands. They all
Yep.
want to go together.
yeah.
And like, oh crap, I wish you guys actually didn't get along so well.
So I guess that's a really good question that, that people who are getting into the coffee industry might want to know. How do you train your managers to deal with all those baristas who are best friends that all want to have the same, 3 days off? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah. I mean, my goal is that they actually work at separate stands. If somebody reports somebody, I try to
Mhm.
separate up. You work for the company and it's great. And so that would be my number one goal. But a lot of times they're like, actually, I really want to work with so and so. And if it's a really big deal, I'm not going to miss out on the person. So I would, take them on. But my number one, try to get them to spread out. And then two, just the manager staying on top of it. Do not approve a time and really hit on that it is a request. And we try our absolute best to give everybody every request off, but it can be denied. And it's first come, first serve. On top of, I've trained all my baristas to really pay attention. If Marina down the street has had every weekend off all summer long, well, then she's covering all the holidays. So everybody else could take time off. You
Yeah.
gotta rotate it out. You gotta make sure that it's not fair. If this is somebody's first request off and this person's requested off 8 times this year, sorry, this person's gonna come first.
Yeah. Do you guys do like only X amount of baristas can be off it on a certain day? I guess it probably depends on the shop.
Yeah, it depends on the shop. On top of, we have a festival in town that's actually taking place, and like 6 of the girls wanted to go from one of the stands, but there was no request off from anywhere else. So we were able to pull and make it happen. So there's not a set number. It's a lot of just jungling pieces and just everybody being really aware of it. I try really hard when I see those requests off to block it out once I start seeing too many
Mm.
people request it off. And then the baristas get notified, hey, there's too many people request off. Come talk to your manager. And then that's how we can kind of see, oh, this stand doesn't have anybody requesting off. We'll pull over there. It kind of sparks like a red flag without giving them the okay to actually put the request in.
Nice.
It's kind of preparation for, I mean, you guys are looking at opening a new store soon, right? And so that's kind of the whole operation behind the scheduling is, can we fill another store,
Yeah.
with baristas from other stores? So are your girls pretty flexible of working at other stores to like meeting all of the other baristas and kind of
I feel like
integrating?
it's taken a long time to get to that point, but yes, now we've hit on it. When they get interviewed, when they get hired, we can't stress it enough that you work for Human Being Reno, not just one stand. You have a
Yeah.
home stand, but at any time within your availability, you can be scheduled at any location. If you are already scheduled at a shift and we have to change things, be prepared to go to another stand already under that scheduled shift. If you're available, you can be anywhere.
I like that. That's actually a great sort of precedent to set up even before they even get started. Like, look, this is your shop, but like as a company, like we reserve the right to send you anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I even like, if I need coverage, if somebody's already scheduled and it's within a window, I don't even give them the option to, like, say no. It's like, "Hey, you're 7 to do tomorrow. Instead of being at South Virginia, you're actually gonna be in Atlanta." And I've never had
Nice.
anybody give me a backlash on top of, if I need coverage and they're off, I make sure to ask, "Hey, can you work 7 to 2
Yeah.
tomorrow?" And then once they say yes, I say, "Awesome, it'll be at the pyramid stand. See you there." Uh, so that way it's not like you're really even prefacing like, "Hey, it's gonna be at this stand. Is that okay?" It's, "No, it's within your availability. If you can do this, then this is where you're gonna go."
I like that. I think I mean, shoot, I would have loved to have, had that little piece of information even back when me and Drew were scheduling people like just out the gate. 'Cause that's so smart. Like I remember we dealt with a lot of races where like, I only work at this shop. And anytime another manager would be like, "Hey, do you have any baristas that could come help in my shop?" I'd be like, "Sorry, no."
It's huge. So it's just we've kinda ditched that to the curb. It's not something that's allowed or even acknowledged anymore. And I mean, I get it. It's not your home stand. You're not comfortable. And I try really hard to send a message out to anybody that's working with somebody new, like, "Hey, make them feel comfortable. Like, they're helping you guys out right now. They
Yeah.
don't need to be here. Like, if somebody's over here, they're needed. So therefore, like, appreciate their time, their energy in the stand, like, make it a good thing that they're there."
Yeah. And do you find that baristas pretty easily translate? Because I know like us with roasters back in the day, a lot of our shops were so different, and just even the way the bar was set up that
Yeah.
baristas would have a hard time. Like they would go from one shop to another, they'd be totally lost. Are you guys baristas pretty good about being able to translate over?
Yeah, they typically are. Our stands are pretty much set up all the same. They're similar enough. The only thing that's different is we have 2 headset stands and 2 just window stands. So if you're used to taking orders on a headset and then now you're put into a window where somebody orders at the window
Yeah.
or vice versa, it can be a little challenging, but people, you understand the game, you learn quick once you're put in the situation.
I mean, that's something to, I think, speak towards if anybody's looking to, expand their locations, like make them as similar as possible because you do get that advantage of being able to meet baristas from spot to spot. And it was always so tough. It was like when you're trying, I was manager trying to cover shifts. It's like, well, I can't use those baristas because they're used to only working at this shop. Or if they come over here, it's just going to be a crapshoot. And, we're too busy and they'll be too slow. But if you can do all of your stands the exact same, so easy, just like move
Totally.
people around.
And maybe people looking to open and debating on whether or not to do headset stands. What would you have to say towards a headset stand versus a stand that just takes orders either at the window or sending out a runner?
Yeah, I think I actually prefer a headset stand. I think
Yeah.
in a pickle, you can schedule less people. They can run way more effectively off of a headset stand. I feel like the lines move quicker. Both, well, I shouldn't say both, but my busiest stand is a headset stand, and they have the fastest car times. On top of running happens at a headset stand, but usually you're inside with the tablet getting cars through as if you were running, and it just is a great system. I prefer a single side headset stand with the walk up on the other side.
I know when I was in there working with your girls, they have a lot of fun chatting with each other too.
Mhm. Oh my god, yeah. I'm terrible at it. I just choose to push the button.
Press the wrong button and you're talking to a customer. They're like, what?
Or
Yeah,
you're, like,
yeah.
singing and I think the headset's off and they're like, "Hey, I can hear you." I'm like,
I think want to pair diesel this weekend? No, I gotta work.
yeah, it's that. Yeah, it's me and headsets. It takes a little bit of getting used to. You just gotta be careful.
Sorry. So speaking of grand openings, where are you guys at the process right now?
Yeah, right now we're moving right along. The stand is coming together. We're shooting for September 1st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's what, 2 months away? Pretty much?
We're in the home stretch. Hopefully the stand will be here and all will go well.
Man,
Do you have baristas chomping at the bit to work at this new stand or at the grand opening or be
Not
a part of it?
really. The
They
grand
let
opening, everybody loves the grand opening, but nobody is excited. Again, it's that I don't want to work in another location. But I preference everybody, and especially now, all the interviews we're doing, we're letting people know that, hey, this might be your home stand, but we actually will be pulling teams and people over to a new location. I haven't told the baristas currently working yet. Usually about a month out, I let everyone know that, hey, reminder, you work for HB Reno and your home stand could change at any time. It's a great thing. You know what I mean? If you're equipped enough to be transferred to a brand new location, that means we see something in you and we just try to make it a positive thing. But this stand, it's gonna be I think this is gonna be our busiest stand for sure.
That's awesome.
really
So are you guys trying to like do like a half veteran baristas, half new baristas, or
It's typically how we've done it. Yeah, we've done that, and then the grand opening is typically mainly just managers is who's done it, and we've had some new baristas once they like were trained in that stand because we might as well just throw them in if they're ringing and smiling or hanging out. It is what it is. But yeah, it's great. I love the grand openings. I did 2 back to back.
and exciting. So this is going to be location number 5.
Yep.
That's crazy. All the grand opening days. Man,
Mm.
those things are always so crazy. Hey, what sort of deals are you guys going to be doing? Do you know?
No, we have not mapped it out yet. We
Okay.
definitely won't do free drinks. Absolutely. not. But I think we did like a select handful of drinks the very first day just to kind of get people going. And then I think we did like from a window 8 to 12 just so we could schedule enough people. We did like $2 off drinks and sent them to this location and people were coming through. It was kind of weird because we were in COVID when we opened our last one. So our grand opening was really lame. I literally flicked on the light and I think I worked in there by myself and whoever stopped by, stopped by.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of just like, wait, you're open? And that was it. But I feel like this one's gonna be busy.
But that one turned into a fantastic location, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's Milana. Milana, I just
Yes.
literally walked in there and did it by myself. And then we had a grand opening like 3 months later. We had a
Yeah.
huge show and got the DJ out, and it was
Yes.
and we did a special that day.
Yeah, that was one thing that we never really got to. We always did we started off with free drinks and like the first 3 locations, by the third was like, this is going to kill us if we continue to do this. Then we like moved up to like dollar drinks, $2 drinks, whatever. But we never really got to test I guess we kind of did. I think Drew with Walla Walla, where we just kind of, turned the open sign on and then, did a grand opening later. But we never really got to really use case like, is it better to do like a super cheap drinks for a weekend and then, party versus like turn the lights on, get some solid customer base and then do a big grand opening.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see, the sort of return on investment would come between those 2 different methods of having a grand opening.
Definitely. I loved the idea because I feel like those were people that still come by and are like, I was the very first customer that was here. Versus when you advertise it, I found that we were having so many regulars just going to that stand that day because they wanted the free drink or the discounted drink.
Yep.
And it was like, Jerry, what are you doing here? And he was like, oh, I heard there's special. And I was like, really,
You drove an extra 10 miles for this. What are you doing?
Exactly. So, there's like that nice bond that you get to make with people that just came by because they truly saw the open sign and wanted to be a customer and check you out. I really love that factor of things.
What do you think about somebody just opening their first stand? Do you think free drinks is a safe bet?
I think if you're a new brand and you're trying to get your name out there, that's the way to do it. I think, like I said, if we opened a new stand on our 5th location and screamed free drinks, nobody would go to any of our other stands and be like outrageous. You know what I mean? So
Oh, yeah.
I feel like if you're a first time coffee shop and you're in a new location and you're trying to get your name out there, absolutely. Why not? If you have the capacity to do it, I would think
Yeah.
a window. I wouldn't do it all day.
Call up
Yeah.
all your barista friends for the
Yeah.
backup because you'll need it if you do free drinks.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true though. At a certain point, like like all of the attention starts hurting your brand versus like, cause like if you're a brand new company, it's great. Like you get attention that nobody even knew you existed before. But if you're an established brand and you have a huge customer base, doing free drinks really only hurts you because they're already your customers.
Yeah.
And you're just like giving away revenue for the fact of them to be like, yeah, I like you, but I come here every day anyways. I mean, I guess we kind of did that. We started with free drinks, but we moved up to the point where we were like, drinks are $3 instead of $2. And you still, at a certain point, you still get the same amount of like really crazy grand openings just because your customer base gets so big. It's like, yeah, we'll come here anyways.
Right. And
Oh,
you get the customers that just want to see the location and
Yep.
check it out.
Yep. Yep. And then you always have those, oh, the last time I saw you was the last grand opening. This family that I can still see in my head that I once or twice a year because they would only show up for the grand openings where you like the dollar drink or the $2 drinks. That's what
Right.
that's so funny. Hey, Maureen's in the chat. Hey, nice to see you, Maureen. She says, I'm thinking about straight for drinks with a social media post. Yeah, super smart.
Yeah.
Get some help, I would say,
Yeah.
Maureen, for sure. Doing it, if you're running it solo, you might find yourself a little too busy. But yeah, I think anything that, I mean, because in the coffee industry, we all know people love deals. It's like,
Oh yeah.
it's the bread and butter of the coffee industry. So if people see a deal, I mean, they'll drive 15, 20 miles to get a free drink.
The social media posts, it's fun to do like a keyword, like, for a free drink, have a keyword that they have to combine and say. Or
Smart.
do something.
Smart. I mean, that's actually a really good idea though. So like you do a regular menu, but if they say, I saw this on social, they get it for free.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's, more hush hush. It's not a big banner outside. So it's
Yeah. Could be a good way to like regulate how much you just get destroyed in the grand opening.
That's a good indicator to see how many people you're targeting, how many people are
Yeah.
actually reading your posts and reading and paying attention.
I like that. That's cool idea.
Smart. That's smart.
So are there any new crazy trends you're seeing in the coffee industry right now, Tasha, that you can provide to the new owners, operators?
Yeah. No crazy like drink trends right now. I feel like everything's back on track. Energy drinks are picking up again.
Mhm.
Yes,
Of course.
that's true. I feel like they are making a comeback. They're starting to get more popular. Matcha is huge right now. I feel
Really?
like that's always been around, but yeah, in Reno, it just like really took off. As far as like trends go, a lot of like different individuals, I would say, within the stands for sure. You got to be an open-minded person. I feel like in this day and age, pronouns are becoming a really big trend as like an owner and operator. That's a new one for me, which is great. It's awesome. But yeah, definitely different. It changed the course a little bit in your verbiage,
Yeah.
how you walk into a stand or your messages that are going out.
How have you been tracking as far as your loyalty program goes? I know we use an app, right?
Yeah.
You guys been seeing an uptick right now?
Yeah, we've been seeing a huge uptake. We've been having a lot of specials go out through the app, but definitely a lot more people. Nobody asks about a free card anymore or a reward card or a punch card. Everything
Nice.
has technology. Everybody is using an app, whether it just be for rewards. So most people have their debit card on there, and I've had people come by and they're like, I forgot my wallet. You guys are the only place I have money at. Like I need lots.
That's great. Yeah, the paper stamp card, man, they're such a staple of the industry, but they're so like antiquated. I remember we have conversation after conversation. I was like, why in the coffee industry, why are we the only industry in the world where we're like, hey, if you buy 10, we'll get you one free? I was like, there's no other industry that does that. But for some reason, and then it's like on a paper card, customer can lose. So like, why are we doing
I
this
know.
thing? But like those apps rewards they're so much better. So
They
much
are,
better.
yeah. And HB is sending out just a lot of fun ones. One that we actually came up back in the day, we would just do it off of a paper receipt, but it's a great special is coming in the morning before 11 a.m. and then visiting again after 2 p.m. You get $2 off. So you have to visit twice, but it's like a reward. And we used to do it where the customer would show their receipt for the morning and then we would just give them a discount in the afternoon. But corporate actually got it on the app system now. And so we're doing that one within
That's a
the next
great
week
idea.
or two. Yeah, it's a good way to get people back in and and get in talking, and the afternoon rushes picked up.
Yeah, you get mom dropping kids off on the way to school and then picking up after school or on the way to work after work. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a great
And
special.
that little note of forgot your wallet? Come through HB. We got your card on file.
Precisely. Yeah.
Maureen gave us an update. She said, I meant they only get a free drink if they post, I'm guessing they post your store, post on her Facebook. Yeah, that's smart too. I mean,
Mhm.
tracking that. So if they post on your, like on your Facebook or repost, curious as to how you think about that, Marie.
Just show me your post when you come
Yeah.
through.
We've done that before, and they had to
Yeah.
actually tag us. And so you did get a notification. And then it was back when we were a little smaller. I only had 2 stands, and I would, be able to, which stand are you going to go to? And then I would shoot a message over there, and there'd be a free card waiting for him at that
Nice.
stand. So it was easily done back in the day when it wasn't as popular. But yeah, they could show the post at the window, or if they tagged you and there was a way for you to notify your team just to have it ready.
That is the one thing that I did love about being a small, show your post and tag us. Yeah, that's a great idea, Marie. Absolutely. It gets your brand out on their socials. They're basically advertising for you. That's a great idea. But I was saying there was something that's so great about when you're small, your first, 1 to 3 shops where you're so flexible and you can do just literally whatever you want. You're like, today's social media day from like 1 to 3 p.m. Come in and show us, something on social media and you get $2 off. And you're so nimble that that's sort of stuff that you can't really do when you get to the 5, 10, 15, 20 locations. You've got hundreds of thousands of customers. But those types of things, I think, really are what sort of solidify your customer base as a new brand. And those are the types of things that customers, again, I mean, we are the industry of deals where they're like, if you keep it going, you might have to, graduate your processes from showing a receipt to like having an app. But that customer base like sticks with you and they sort of form that forever customer, which I think is, you can only do in those like really, young, flexible days in your business. So Maureen, be innovative.
Okay.
I remember we
Yeah,
tried to do that when we weren't small anymore, and it was backfired.
It worked.
It was
One of
really
my
hard.
favorite things to do when opening a new stand too, we've done it the last 2 times, is, you hype everybody up, you tell them a new stand's coming. Can you guess the location? And then the next post is kind of like a glimpse of where it's at. And then
Yeah.
first person that takes a selfie on this lot and gets it right gets a free drink. And it was a riot. There was people all over town. Is this it? Is this it? Like, and they were selfieing. It was so fun and interactive. I loved that one.
That's
I think for this location for sure.
That's a great idea, Maureen, since you're a trailer, like if you spot me driving down the road and take a picture, like you get a free drink or something like that, like if they could spot the shop, that would be cool. 'Cause then you've got people, looking out and then tagging you and they see you at a spot, which is great if you're mobile because then you've got your customers who are basically advertising to everybody else where you are at, at any given time. Like, oh, I found her over here. Oh, I highly recommend it. That'd be a fun one too. Cool. Those are great ideas. Man. What other types of deals do you guys do around? Do you guys do at least at HB, do you do like a schools out type thing? Any
No,
events
no,
this summer?
no schools out or summer. I mean, we have a bunch of just specials, like our blended drinks on the weekends right now are $1 off, like Granitas. Smoothies on National Smoothie Day were discounted. A bunch of just like fun blended, however you can incorporate those. We usually do
Yeah.
a national day. So I'll look at the calendar a month in advance and just find whatever national holiday that matches us. Blueberry, come get a blueberry smoothie or blueberry Italian soda. You'll get 25 cents off. People love it, and it's so minuscule to us, but it means everything to them and it's just engaging for sure. Yeah, we had I feel like it's basic in the summer, super easy ones, but just engage as much as you can, make it fun, make it lively, and people love it.
No, and
It's National Pizza Day. I gotta go get pizza.
that's what pizza today.
No, probably. I
Well,
would have had
That would
pizza.
be awesome. Though.
300 national days in a month. It's insane.
Oh yeah, there's a national day for everything.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, if nobody knows about it, is it really a national day? Like National Tie Your Shoes Backwards Day? Nobody knows about it. Is it really a thing?
Who sends me the notification that it's National Pizza Day? Who made
Yeah.
that up?
Since we have Maureen in the chat watching, what would you say when it comes to blended drinks at HB Reno? What would you say they are in the top five? Are they most ordered right now, second most ordered, third most ordered?
I would say from 12 o'clock on, it's the number one drink happening. And even
You go,
earlier,
Maureen.
yeah, I would say maybe even earlier than that. As soon as it gets hot in Reno, 70, 80 degrees, everyone's getting iced or blended, but typically blended.
And you guys have those really nice granita machines too, so
Yeah,
it's quick and easy.
totally.
Okay, so tapioca days today.
You
Tapioca day. I actually really like tapioca. That's cool. Yeah, blended drinks. They are I mean, they'll forever be the number one. The second you have a blended drink on the menu and people get that blended milk, or they're like, all right, that's one.
Yep. Something about that sugar.
Whipped cream, blend a chocolate chip cookie into it.
Well, they're really nice. You can post those on social media and they're real pretty if you dress them up.
yeah, they're great advertisers on social media. Any new opportunities for growth that you're experiencing lately, Tasha? I guess as a regional manager, even if it's not like your company's having problems, but like any new things you're facing, like wow, never would have thought I would have dealt with this a year ago, or what it might be.
definitely shortages. It's like every
Like,
week there's something. And it's hard to prepare for it because you don't find it until it's gone. And then you're like, wait, we're in this shortage. What is happening?
so
Plastic right now, straws, cups are a big issue for us for sure. And yeah, just trying to scrape by, whether it be with our actual rep or going to cash and carries or smart and vitals, trying to stay on top of it, build up a back storage.
yeah,
But that's the thing is like you build up this back storage and then it's not an issue anymore. And then it's something else. And then you're like, well, I have all this taking up my storage. We'll use this up. Let's focus on the problem. So it's just you got to be flexible. I really think everybody is aware of the issues that are going on and it's kind of become the new normal. So the customers are super awesome. If we're ever out of something or just it is what it is, I think that us out of everyone tries to do our very, very best. There was a customer that's like, I've been to Starbucks the last 3 days and they have no dairy alternatives. I'm like,
wow,
but they're not allowed to. And so it's nice that we have the flexibility to pull from whatever we
yep,
need to make it happen for the customer's sake. So we've always tried our absolute best to do that. So if we really don't have something, we don't have it and it's not possible for us to have it. And everybody's super aware of it and just very kind and understanding. I think that that's kind of definitely the new norm that I didn't see coming ever. But it's just great when everyone can give a little bit of grace and just handle it the best you can.
I wonder if you could play off of that too. Like, hey, plastic shortages come in, bring in your tumbler and you'll get
Yeah,
a discount. So then you're saving
totally.
plastic and then people I'm sure have tumblers at home.
Yeah.
Everything comes and frequents a coffee joint has a few tumblers.
Yeah, and I mean, we get that just how normally it's just the weirdness about COVID and germs
Touche.
and so you have to like it's everything is now like you have to overthink every situation. I think that that's the
yeah,
thing. Everything now I have to like, how is this going to affect us? How is this going to affect our brand? How is this going to look? Where are we at? Could it have this issue? I feel like everything is way more thought about than just kind of going with the flow. And if there's repercussions, say apologizing and, just
yeah.
accepting and moving on. I feel like you don't have that option anymore. You kind of have to think about all circumstances before doing anything.
Man, yeah, I would say that would have never been something I would have thought about, pre 2020. I remember even in the middle
Yeah.
of COVID, we were like, what are the rules? We don't know. They're going to change next week. So like going with the flow it just didn't work. So it was like, all right, next week I have to jump on the Washington State Health Department website again. I have to figure out what I'm supposed to do this week. Right? Next week I got to do it again. It's like, couldn't ever really get to like, okay, we're so calm.
Yeah. Right. We're actually just doing our job. No, and COVID's still very much around. I mean, I still have braces that are out with it right now, which it's definitely just more they're sick, they're out this period, and it is what it is. But I'm like, when does that stop?
Yeah. Have you noticed that you had to like increase your staffing more than you normally have in the past just so that you can cover like those shifts when people are out for 7 days or whatever it is?
I never thought that I'd be doing this. That's a great point too. Is labor reports? You're always like, no, run them thin, run it wherever we can. now I'm kind of like, well, if somebody calls in, it'd be nice to have that body here. So we definitely have done more of like, I'm going to schedule you till 7 and in the notes, right? If it's slow, chores are done, everything's done, you can leave at 5 and just letting the managers know like, hey, realize this is extra body today, play it by ear, call them off if needed. But it's way easier to schedule them than to have to call them in because they're just going
Mhm.
to deny it anyway. So definitely preparing for the worst has been on our radar a lot.
Yeah, being overstaffed. How has it been? Now we have to worry about multi-flops. Don't worry, don't get into existence.
Uh,
How has it been hiring? Have you noticed it any more difficult? So someone always wants them early out. Have you noticed it any more difficult or easier to find baristas looking to work? I know that was a huge issue up here for a while. Was just
oh
finding
my
workers.
gosh. Yeah. I mean, still my stand, I finally just went up to full hours this month. We have not been full hours at all my locations in over
Wow.
a year. I mean, it's
You've been
very,
working hard on that. You
it's
keep not
that's
getting
true.
free
In
snack.
Reno, I was
Congratulations.
yeah. So and that's huge. That means that like I'm finally staffed enough to do that. But then with the COVID things coming up, I'm like, crap, are we supposed to be where we're supposed to be? So we definitely still need more people, but it's definitely become easier. I feel like people are back to wanting to work. I
Mhm.
will say that there's another generation out there though, that it's the younger crowd who we just had an interview and it's like, oh, I don't work weekends in the summer. Like,
Oh.
sorry, this is the job for you. Oh, it's just very different. I don't think people understand, or, I think they're getting in a job game later in life because they had been in COVID for 2 years, at 16. So now they're 18, just now starting this job. They have no
Yeah.
restrictions and don't really know what their first job is. And so it's just kind of different. You're kind of like, actually, that's not how this works. We're a really cool company. We offer a lot of neat things, but here are our demands that you have to meet to work for us. So it's great. I also have had in this last week, I've had 4 return employees that just reached out. They wanted to come back to the bean, which is awesome. It makes me happy because every time somebody leaves, I'm like, I don't know what you're going to find out there. This place is pretty cool.
Yes.
And, I let them go nicely and I always welcome them back. And here they are. They're coming back and they just miss us. And they come through and they see how happy we are and they say life's great and they hear great things. And so it's nice to have people wanting to come back because they didn't like what was out there.
Yeah, gosh, so many of those employees. I mean, that was our job. They'd be like, they worked for us for like 2 years, and they're like, I'm moving on to bigger and better things. We're like, all right, we'll see you in 6 months.
Yeah, he'll be back.
But that's something so great about like your company culture. If people are like, hey, I want to go out and explore these things, like, sure, go for it. Well, here when you want to come back, and eventually they're like, you know what? This was actually one of the best jobs I had. I want to come back to your company because everyone else out there sucks.
Really, it's an amazing thing. Something that's changed too that's interesting. I feel like back when I was barista, managing was so competitive. Like everybody wanted to move up. Everybody wanted to be a leader. Everybody wanted to do those things. It's not like that anymore. People want to they want to work 20 hours, they want to request their times off, and they just want to leave. Nobody actually wants to like move up. And it's a little
I
challenging, especially going into our new location. We have our eyes out on new people and how we're gonna, migrate up the ladder here. But I'm like, I would never thought 2 years ago that I would be in a place having to ask somebody if they would be interested in managing. Like it was every day check. When's the new stand going to be open? When can I manage? Where is this at? So that is interesting in itself. I don't know if that's just the COVID time, the younger generation time. I'm not really sure where that plays into it, but it's definitely a change of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cultural difference in I mean, I'm a millennial. I think I'm the mid millennial, and the Gen Z and the I Gen is like we notice it a lot, at roasters, but even now the 16 to 18-year-olds who turned 18 after COVID, but it's going to be a huge cultural shift in how they look at employment, how they look at management, that's gonna be a weird one to navigate. And as like somebody like you, regional manager, like what are these kids even see these days?
Yeah, and so, Ryan, the, general manager is very, like, intrigued on finding out, like, what motivates them. I feel like my generation, it was money. Like, people wanted to make more money, like, they were willing to take on the job role because they got money, and it's not money anymore. Like, it's value and appreciation and time spent and, like, pouring into your people, which is just, like, a completely different dynamic than anything I ever grew up in. It makes for an awesome culture, but it's a lot of extra work, and it's a lot of time and energy on management's part for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Learning with it. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole heck of a lot easier to just treat your employees like crap and give them a paycheck every 2 weeks. Now you have like, I got to care about my employees now.
Yeah, when you say it like that, that doesn't sound very nice.
But I mean, that was like the boomer gen was like, our grandparents was like, you went to work.
Job and
Yeah, you got work like a dog from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You got your paycheck every 2 weeks. It's definitely shifted. I mean, you could watch the shift as generations go by. And now people are like, no, actually, I want to care about where I work.
totally. Yeah.
Fun times we're living in. Well, thanks for your input, Tasha. Those are all great things. Do you have any last sage words of wisdom for the Maureen's, the new coffee shop owners, new operators out there in this weird sort of navigation of time that we're in?
Gosh, yeah. I think if you really just focus on connections, like connecting with your people, whether that be your employees or whether that be your customers, if that is like the sole purpose of your industry, you can't fail. You know what I mean? Everything else, you can figure it out. You can work around it. You kind of have to do it in this industry and fly by the seat of your pants no matter what comes. But if the connections are always there and the customers are coming, there's going to be people that love you and it keeps you going for sure.
That is great advice.
Very nice.
Wants with the wisdom.
Any last words of wisdom from me?
Yeah, you've been around the people a few years, I should say.
Well, as everything has changed, as you guys were just talking about, it is kind of important to stay up to date on what people, this up and coming generation is into. And as a cultural thing seems to be the most prominent right now, it is a nice way to invent the business around that. A lot of the businesses that are already operating are operated around the concept of you come to work and you get paid and you leave. And so they're having to reinvent it within the business. So if you are starting a business and you can kind of build it out in a more culturally oriented way that still just runs like a business, do it early, and think of everything you can do to set things in place as far as it's systematic and organized. So you don't have to reinvent yourself in the long run.
Well, guys, it's been fun today. Thanks, Maureen, for stopping in. Thanks to everybody who might be watching this on the replay. FYI, these live Q&As, they sit here on the Facebook group, but they are also in the membership section under the bonus. It's been fun, guys. Thanks for
real
joining.
fun. Thanks,
Yeah.
Tasha.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much for joining us today. For those of you who are looking to become a coffee expert yourself, we offer an incredible, thorough training online for opening your first coffee drive-thru at www.myfirstdrivethru.coffee.